Welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. Ollie's enjoying a pretzel. Kevin's looking up some information. Today, the dog sled is going to get a couple little fine-tuning things taken care of. She's cold. We'll get her moved over. Diesel wants to do a couple things that are kind of important. So why don't you go ahead and tell us what you're up to.
So we're going to do three things today. First is we're going to figure out how to get the miles to empty set up on the RTX custom gauges we had done. There's a way to do it. You have to fill the tank, you have to empty the tank, then you have to put in a third of a tank, press a button, third of a tank, press a button, and it'll then do the math for miles to empty. So that'll be really cool when we do Power Tour here in a few weeks.
Which explains also all the gas cans.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we've got to pull out 21 or 23 gallons, whatever that is, so we have lots of cans. Second thing we want to do is set the compass up. Compass is set up in the console, and you know, it's just a display, and do you really need a compass or not? No, but it looks cool, right? So we'll get the compass set.
Well, more importantly, that module is where you got your outside air temperature.
Yeah, and that's the thing right in the next display is the outside air temperature, which is really nice, especially we're going to be in some hot zones. So we'll get that set today, and then we had a third thing we were going to do. Pix, what was that third thing?
The window.
Oh, we're going to diagnose
squeak.
the window.
That.
Yeah, we got a little bit of noise on the driver's side. We tried to figure out what it was a few weeks ago and just didn't have much luck. So I have a better assistant with me, and we're going to go do some driving.
Well, by better, you don't mean better as a human, better as in being handy.
Better at being handy and helping out, yes. So very true. So that's what we're doing today. We'll see how successful we are.
Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and just move the car over to the other stall before he starts looking at things. So once again, just fired right up. This car is pretty low on the drama. I think Diesel grabbed ShopDog. Look at that, isn't that cool? We got a backup camera. I would never remember to use it myself, but so we're gonna go ahead and pull it into the big stall here. I don't need it on a lift, I just need it in here where we can swing the doors open wide. Yeah, it sure drives like a dream. Okay. And use the Impala as reference. There, that should be good. So we'll go ahead and get this guy parked. And he's going to sit and play menu games and learn which buttons, and I'm going to get this apart so that he can push the button on the compass module. One other thing that we're going to add to the list, since the AC lines keep not exploding, is I'm going to go ahead and put this glove box back in as well. So if you recall, we pulled the light and got all that pulled. Everything's still working, so there's no reason not to go ahead and put this back in. Of course, the downside is now he's a beggar. Anyway, we move the car over. I got the glove box in, and the light lights up, and that's good. Diesel's still looking up the process for actually doing that third for the miles to empty. It's not in the manual, and he's having a hard time finding it online. I have the console disassembled enough that all they got to do is, see, there's that module, and we placed it there so that he could get at it, so that it could be reset. So they've got to do that in a large area. My backyard isn't going to be big enough for this car, so he's going to have to do it in a parking lot. So let's see what he wants to do next. Sounds like the next step is they're going to go fill her up. Oh yeah, the insurance card. The whole reason I remembered the glove box isn't even in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back window up so they don't have stuff blowing out. It's actually quite lovely today. So they're going to go fill the tank so he can start that process.
Supposed to be a light on in here?
There is a light on in there. It's not very bright. It goes through those two holes in the side, remember?
Really?
Hey, that's weird. It worked like 2 minutes ago.
Oh.
Oh, it must have just been a little stuck. Okay, I'm like, I literally just had that. So, see? It happens to all of us.
It works.
Okay, they just pulled in. So, Car should be full of fuel, and I'm sure they're pushing buttons. I was up moving plants, and they actually came back faster than I thought they would. So, good old dog sled. So, fans are on?
Yeah, the one fan came on, he figured we let it run, got warmed up, the second fan kept going. I figured we cool it down. We heard a really weird squeak coming out of that front door.
Oh, we don't like squeaks. Okay, we just lifted that. We actually just lifted the whole front end to make sure there was no issues with the steering. And we think what's still happening is at different ride heights, we may still get a little rubbing on the airbag. So he's going to take it to four-wheel drive skyjacker mode. And then we're going to get in there and we're going to add a little dielectric grease because that's a very high quality silicone and won't eat the rubber. The temptation to just spray it with WD-40 or heavy grease is there, but that's not really the right product. Silicone definitely is. So he's going to start it up and get her all tall. Tire changing mode engaged. Now he's just playing because he can. But that'll give us access to get some silicone on everything and make sure everything's kosher. But boy, look at that. Yeah, he's playing on his phone now. Okay, so we just added some dielectric. We're still in 4x4 mode. The very next thing we've got to do is, unfortunately, now that the tank is full, we're going to have to empty the tank because the next thing he needs to do is teach it the fuel curve. The problem, it turns out, is this should have already been learning that, and we have a 90 ohm sensor. You remember that big long one we put in, that custom one. The problem being, this tank with its shape never hits 90 ohms. It hits 88 ohms. So it never goes into this relearn procedure. So we're going to go ahead and do a user programmable manual adjust. And to do that, we have to empty the fuel, tell it it's at 0. And then it's going to say, okay, put a third of the fuel back in. And then we'll do that. We'll push a button and keep moving. So that's what we've got to do.
So see if you can see this here.
Okay, yeah, let's see if the people can see it. So remember, goofy shaped tank.
And there's no real filler neck. And it's
there's no filler. Yeah, the fuel's literally right there.
Right there.
Well, here, push the button again and you'll get the end light. There. Now the people can see the fuel literally right there. So that's as full as it gets. Unfortunately, it never hits 90 ohms, so it never learned a curve. So we just have to, because the Dakota is smart enough, just reprogram it. And that's why we have all these gas cans. There's 20 gallons out right there. And our logic here is when we custom built that sender, we left room. He watched until we hit 0 ohms. So that, hopefully you guys can see it, is about 1.5 gallons of our emergency fuel, our reserve fuel. So we're going to actually start our 0 there. Actually, as far as the car is concerned, that is 0. That's where the sender stops. So we have that linear sender, and that is 0 ohms. So we're going to verify that. If that's all good, that's where we're going to start our 7 gallon, 7 gallon, 7 gallon. Okay, he just did the 0 point on our manual. And now I'm going to put 1/3 of the fuel in. That, we finally did our third. We didn't even hardly spill much, just that tiny bit at the end. So he now has a calibrated amount of fuel on the sender so that as he drives, this will learn the mileage, give him 1, how much his fuel economy is, but 2, tell him how much time he's got before he's going to have to get fuel, which is nice on a long trip. For that, they are off to do the compass calibration. So this has a BIM 17-2 in it, and he's got the RTX gauge system, so he's got to be able to turn the vehicle around in some big circles, and he can't do it in my drive or in my yard. It's just not big enough. We did that with some Camaros, but there's no way this is going to turn that sharp. So he's going to drive it up to the park and ride on 17, and then, you know, you set all this, you follow the instructions, you follow the little tree, and When he comes back, his compass won't be pointing the wrong way. And they're back. Still some weird squeak going on. They're going to explore that a little further. Compass is now set. So that's good. We got the console put back together.
Actively learning fuel.
It is learning about fuel. So eventually it's going to be able to tell you what your fuel economy is and how far to the gas station before you're walking. You know, that matters. In fact, we just took his learn table off the ECU, threw it on the SD card, backed it up on a computer so we have it just in case. You know, it's always nice to have a data point. But overall, it's a car. It might just be getting pretty close to ready for power tour. And with that, I think they're getting close to ready for power tour in this thing. Just not a lot left on the list.
Vix, what do you think?
I think we're ready to go.
Power tours in a couple of weeks. We'll see you all there.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.